You ever wonder why nobody bats like this anymore? How come nobody goes to the plate with their hands a foot apart looking like they're going to bunt, but then not bunt every single time? Why are players who used to bat like this their whole career now batting like this? Across baseball, weird batting stances like these are going extinct. But which player had the weirdest batting stance of all time, and why are these stances going away? Or is the better question, why did anybody ever hit like this in the first place? Well, believe it or not, some of the dumbest looking batting stances actually have the dumbest explanations. Like John Wackelfuss, who would stand in the very back of the box, keep his feet 3 inches apart, face his entire back towards the pitcher, then swing. According to him, he did this because he tried it once in Puerto Rico, got a hit, and just kept doing it. He went on to play 11 MLB seasons batting like this. A batting stance is essentially how a batter stands in the box. Each one is different. Each batter has their own philosophy. Most aren't noteworthy. Some are insane. This kid gets into a crouch, leaps, clicks his heels, twirls his bat with one hand. After fouling off a hittable pitch, he needs a new approach. He twirls the bat on both sides of his body, then does a two-handed twirl even faster, does a bat toss to himself, then takes a strike. With 2 strikes, things aren't going well. He needs another approach. This time, he drops down again, but then turns it into a dance followed by more drop downs, then salutes the pitcher in acknowledgement that he's up 2 strikes. He fouls off a tough pitch and is now feeling himself. He goes back to the twirl, salutes the pitcher, and fouls off another one, keeps jumping up and down, gets back in the box, fouls another one, then finally grounds out. Nothing in baseball forbids you from doing this. However, in this case, the tournament director warned the team, said it was dangerous, and said, quote, "We cannot accept this," then banned the stance. But for the most part, as long as both feet are in the box, you can pretty much have any stance you want. Throughout baseball history, batting stances were way less important than you probably realize. For decades, the popular notion was a batting stance was just a starting point. When a player starts their swing, that's when mechanics take over. Swing mechanics are the important part. Players study, practice, and obsess over mechanics, but what you did before usually was up to personal preference to help your timing and feel. Just compare Big Papi's normal-looking stance to Kevin Youkilis, maybe the strangest stance of his era. He would bring his knees together, put his bat over his head, point it towards the pitcher, and even separate his hand about a foot apart on the bat. Youkilis became one of the best hitters in the league doing this. But as weird as this stance was, when compared to Ortiz, the swing itself is almost identical. Many weird stances are just mind tricks that batters use on themselves to get ready to hit. This guy would stretch his front foot almost out of the batter's box and stretch his back as far back as possible. According to him, he did this after talking to a sports psychologist who emphasized the importance of a repeatable routine. This somehow became his routine, and he did it every single pitch. The stance looks insane, but the swing itself is actually pretty standard. For many, a stance is less about the actual string and just a pre-pitch routine, and some of these are stranger than others. Aaron Rowan's was belligerent. Waving his bat below the belt in the groin area, Rowan's pre-pitch routine was called the drunk. He would do it every single time he came to the plate. Fans would mock him as he did it, but this bat wave locked him in, so no coach or player would ever consider telling him to stop doing this. Jeff Bagwell had to change his stance, and according to him, he only did it because a famous country singer made him do it. At first, he batted like this. Very normal. He was a league average hitter for a while, but got traded. Had the worst season of his life, was the 4th least productive hitter in baseball, and followed it up by going an insane 0 for 44 to start spring training the next season. All of a sudden, his career was in serious jeopardy. Then, according to him, he smacked a ball into the outfield to end this terrible streak. He put his head down, ran to first, felt a massive weight off his shoulders, then looked up and realized superstar country singer Garth Brooks just made a diving catch in the outfield to rob him of a hit. Yes, Garth Brooks was playing for the Mets that day. In fact, it was his 3rd spring training. As a massive baseball fan, he convinced these teams to let him play in actual games, take actual at-bats, and be treated like a real player, all while raising money for charity. Garth Brooks went 1 for 22 in his MLB career, meaning at this time, he was a more productive hitter than Craig Counsell was. And the day after he robbed Counsell of this hit, the Dodgers dropped Counsell from the team. Desperate for his career not to be over, he started messing around with his stance. He got picked up by Arizona and started batting like this. The next season, he started standing up even straighter and helped the D-bags win a World Series. The next season, his stance got even stranger. Then in 2004, he went to the Brewers, went even further with the stance, and had one of the strangest stances of all time. Craig Counsell resurrected his career batting like this and went on to play 16 seasons, all because of Garth Brooks. But you will never see someone bat like this today. The only public explanation Counsell's ever given on why he hit like this was that he tried it, it felt good, he played better, so he just kept doing it. However, in past eras, batting stances had a lot more strategy behind them. Ty Cobb would literally keep his hands multiple inches apart on the bat. As the pitch was being delivered, he would either slide his bottom hand up to choke up and do a contact swing, or slide his top hand down to do a power swing, solely depending on how he wanted to hit that specific pitch, and would make that decision as the pitcher was throwing the ball. And at least one player in Japan is still doing this. He spreads his hands apart about a foot, sometimes only holds the bat with one hand, then quickly moves his hands together and slap hits pitches. Apparently this strategy was normal in Ty Cobb's day. Players back then almost exclusively hit for contact, but as time went on, Babe Ruth changed that. While everyone was choking up hitting singles, he stood tall with his feet right next to each other in a closed stance and swung as hard as he could, struck out a ton, and hit a ton of bombs. Then suddenly, everyone in baseball was trying to hit home runs, so you got stances like Mel Ott, who had an insane leg kick and load so he could swing as hard as possible. This insane slow pitch softball looking swing allowed him to hit 511 home runs while only being 5'9", 170 pounds.